Crossing the wire. Libya versus Egypt. 77. Fairly recent as far as the game is concerned. It should be, I think, Soviet gear versus Soviet gear of some sort. Maybe some French gear. Well, either way. After months of minor border clashes between the two nations, hostilities between Egypt and Libya broke out in the summer of 1977. On July 21st, the Libyans crossed the wire into Egypt and raided the border town of Salum. Egyptian President Sadat decided to teach the Libyans a lesson they would never forget. The following day, elements of the Egyptian 3rd Armored crossed into Libya and soon engaged the Libyan 9th Armored Division. So it's tanks versus tanks. Egypt is probably Russian gear. I don't know about Libya though. Is it Russian too or not? It's usually the colonial connections or things like that, so India would have British gear and so forth. It's just a lot of Russian stuff, some American and British, but mostly Russian. Yeah, T-62s. Sure what T-62s do. We fought T-55As and AMs. 62 probably has a missile, no? It's still, oh, it has an upgraded gun. Enhanced vision. Shitty fire control still. So it basically has an effective range increase as far as I can see. So we don't have to go to 20 hexes from the target to accurately start hitting things. Still not a great one. It lacks the fire control of the Western tanks. 55As. Yep. This has an effective fighting range of 30, so it has 20 hexes better fighting range. I'm not sure if it's actually 30, because I seem to recall T-55s being so shit until you get closer to 20 maybe. Still, the 62 should be a vast improvement. What is this? This looks like a missile platform of some sort. It's some kind of an anti-tank rifle, I guess. High explosive anti-tank round 60. I suppose it could be a missile, but it certainly looks like a rifle of some sort. We do have missile launchers too. BRDMs, only 2 though. A couple of anti-air and more T-62. So no infantry at all. No, just 1 infantry. One that provides artillery. Do we have artillery? We do not have artillery. Okay. Visibility is amazing. Length is fairly lengthy. So I think we want to force the fight to happen around here, the hill. Once they come through the hills and rough spots, we want to have to fight there. The thing is, I'm not sure if we should try to shove the T-62s there. It's usually about 10 hexes per screen, so it's 10, 20, around that much. We want the T-55 certainly to get closer, but not maybe the 62s. At least not too much. Holy shit. Did not see any. Oh, there we are. BMPs. I think they have a cannon of some sort, but it's the missile that's the worrying part. Sager. 83. These are good ones. They have terrible armoring, but they have long-range fighting capability thanks to the missiles. So you're better off spamming the enemy with these than buying the more expensive heavy tanks. Right. The big problem is this. I think if we start shooting at the missile launcher platform, we are not gonna end up winning that fight. We have a reasonable accuracy at 50 hexes, but it's not great. The BMPs will win that exchange of fire. Why can't I see them here? Right, there's some weird visibility going on. And the T-55s are worthless already. Looking for smoke ammunition on tanks. Shit. There could be tanks coming over this too. Have to keep an eye on that. But mostly we need to be prepared to react to things. We might want to, for example, just pop the edge, take a couple of shots and pull back. Anti-air fire. We don't want to fire at distant targets, so half distance is probably okay. We more or less want to be able to react to aircraft, I suppose. Although I doubt we have to worry about those too much. It's a meeting engagement and all that. Still, I don't want to fight the BMPs here. This is not gonna be the only one. So, pull back. We can always pop our head backs up after a while. Right. Definitely want. For fuck's sakes. Well, on the positive side, that'll give us some cover. I still hate the fact that we have no smoke ammunition with almost all of our vehicles. And now we have a smoke. Jesus fucking Christ. They're gonna kill that one. Who the hell has the smoke anyway? It's squad leaders or something like that. Yeah, it's exactly like that. B0 should have. Yeah, there's a goddamn army of them there. If they come closer and we get to fire on them again, then we definitely are gonna stay here and fire. They're gonna be close enough that our guns should be able to reliably hit them. Not sure what to do with these. Rather these. What the hell are these even? It's not a bad start even though we lost a couple of tanks. It's gonna be horrible for both sides. We're more or less equal, although I think they have a bit of an advantage. Yeah, they have T-62s, but they have BMPs, which are vastly superior to the shitty tanks usually. I think the big problem there, what they're gonna have, is that they're gonna rush us. And I'm not sure if that's gonna work. Well, gotta shoot at something. Yeah, we don't have that kind of luck with on hitting things. We gotta start firing even though this might end up killing us. Doesn't matter. If we don't get some kills on them, we're gonna die anyway. I'll keep these guys in reserve for a while. I'll have to make some moves with them soon though. Might be getting great flanking shots. Alternatively, they're gonna charge us here with another army group that I can't see at the moment. Yeah, these guys have an effective range of about 30, which means they can't really shoot at me. I'm thinking I might want to withdraw with the missile launchers. They have a decent amount of ammunition, so if I just stay here and do nothing, they're gonna be taken out. Wish they could have just killed the immobilized tank. That would have provided cover for the rest. Well, we were sort of expecting their air force, but otherwise why have the AA guns? On the other hand, again, that's not really a good indication of what they should be having. Sometimes in these missions they have all kinds of nonsense. You abandoned the tank, of course you did. Where were you planning on going though? They have some T-62s in reserve. Sure, that's gonna matter all that much. With these ranges, even T-55s are just as good as the 62s. And since we don't want long-range engagements, this will work just fine. You can use these, well, basically armored jeeps, I guess. Well, the picture could be very misleading though. You can use these as decoys. At the same time, this could be a powerful enough of a weapon to properly get rid of some opponents, so I don't think we should underestimate it. So highest percentage, about 30. Not great, but I hate the BMPs. Probably shouldn't be shooting at them. I think they're a smaller target, so basically we would have a better chance at hitting at a tank. Still, these guys have 10 more missiles left, and I intend to use every one of them. And we're retreating. Yeah, not much I can do until they get to the center. So that we can try to flank them. We're just gonna be a lot of casualties in the next 2 turns. Oh, they have infantry. Well, that's bullshit. We gotta go there and start taking shots, no matter how risky it is. Worst things about the BMPs is that even their gun at this stage is good enough to take on our tanks. That's a pretty big problem. Yeah, we can probably retake this tank. Still, this is not good at all. We need kills, not just immobilizing hit and then nothing. Yeah, we can barely shoot at anything. Still, if we get a kill or two, things can change very quickly. I should know with playing these non-professional army types fights. A couple of kills in a tightly packed army unit is catastrophic. The problem now is though that if I even have a single point of suppression, I can only fire once in a turn. That's pretty tough to try to deal with. They're retreating already. They're trying to shoot at the infantry. And we're dead. Terrible, terrible, terrible. We could shoot at the infantry. The thing is, these don't have a lot of shots. Yeah, like 6 still left. This is just has too little ammunition to be worthwhile, and that's all of our tanks anyway. Well, yeah, this is gonna be bad and bad for us. Shit. Not much I can do, really. Yep. When I tried to fire, we didn't hit shit. They're basically hitting 50% of their shots. And then they have the anti-tank missiles and stuff like that. There's no way we can win this. But there's not gonna be a fight on the next turn, we've got too many casualties. We're mainly routed infantry. So this fight is basically over. None of our missiles, I think, hit anything. We've tried to shoot at these quite a lot, nothing hits. And I don't see any kind of fundamental reason why that is. We are more or less using the same equipment. We just can't get hits. On the positive side, I have to say, we're less suppressed than I thought we would be. That doesn't mean much because we're still retreating, but thought this would be worse. Right, no one can do really anything. And crews abandoned tanks. Yeah, it's over. Doesn't require all that much. If the initial kills would have gone our way, yeah, we'd have been fine more or less. No hits. I think that's the sort of attraction with the BMPs. They're not in any way worse than the dedicated missile platforms. They might have fewer missiles, but they have better armoring. They have a cannon that actually can kill things, and they have the missile, and they're not that expensive. So instead of having your couple of missile launchers, you have a platoon of APCs coming your way. So they're vastly superior in practical terms. It's almost impossible to get the 12 shots missile launcher like what we have, the fighter vehicles can do. So what's the point of the missiles? It might be better in an extended campaign of some sort, but with the fights you're having in this game, the extra missiles are worthless. Almost never get to use them. Right, they're basically just wiping out the remains. There's not much we can do. Still, we'll do what we can. They are very close. Chance to hit less than 15% no matter what we shoot at. And that's the fundamental problem. We're almost at point blank and we are not hitting shit. Yay, it got suppressed a little bit. Doesn't help that our command units are retreating too. Okay, this one got its act together a little bit. Still, 9 enemies. That's a lot of enemies. Mostly we have a crew. We don't really have any proper capabilities anymore. Take a pot shot here and there, but that's not gonna win us anything. And the missile guys. Oh look, a miss. Yeah, how these guys are structured fundamentally doesn't work. They have a huge amount of missiles, but otherwise they're totally worthless. Oh, they cost 20, and they're basically as worthless as a single Sager squad, an infantry squad that's a fraction of the cost. Right, we just don't have the units to stop them anymore. There's gonna be a few turns of us constantly losing additional troops. Yeah, I don't really see the point of the heavier tanks either, because the BMPs have a long-range missile that is very accurate and powerful, and at closer range their gun is more than capable of penetrating the tank armor too. So why in the hell would you buy the more expensive tanks when you can just go with a group of BMPs? Can we still do something? Yeah, maybe. Probably not all that much, but still something. The enemy is just too numerous for us to stand still anywhere and try to do things. So we'll take our shots and withdraw, take our shots and withdraw. It's not an effective fighting way, but it's the only thing we can afford. And these guys who can basically shoot once, they're all equally worthless or good, however you want to look at it. This vehicle is no more accurate than the infantry squad. There's nothing. I think it might have a 20 hexes longer range, but is it doing us any favors here? No, because you can't. It's very rare for you to be able to limit your fight in a certain type of a range. You would have to have a lot of killing power at that particular range that wipes out all the enemies, and I don't have it. I don't think I've almost never seen that happen. At best you can say you can force it into a close range situation, but that's a bit different. You're controlling the range, but you're not really. The reason you're forced to do that is precisely because it's impossible to do it at a long range. You're trying to force it into something that you might be able to manage, maybe. Right, if we can't kill that now, we'll lose this. Just cannot fucking hit it. It's the Russian shit tanks. They don't have the fire controls. They're like shitty World War II artillery pieces, static artillery pieces. And not the good kind either. Definitely the weaker versions. Not sure if you can compare them directly like that, but just to give an idea how worthless they are. Holy shit, you destroyed a tank with your shitty weapon. You have high explosive ammunition and the gun is pathetic. I guess their rear armor is pretty weak on me. Didn't think that was possible. This guy has a rifle and a hand grenade. Yeah, they have the 50-50 shot thing too, which I don't understand. I mean, I can't do it. I can shoot how much I want, but it's not. It's basically 10%, maybe 20. We have, I think we've gotten once like 30%, but that after multiple shots. They have no such problems. Yeah, this was pretty catastrophic defeat. All of our fighting capability was wiped out without us being able to do much. And the only difference was that they had the BMPs versus our T-55 tanks and a couple of dedicated missile launchers. The dedicated missile launchers just don't matter. There's too few of them, and they can shoot once per turn, which means the initial shot it doesn't actually have that good of a percentage to hit. You would need the second shot. BMPs can get the dedicated launcher missile accuracy as good as it's gonna get, plus they get a cannon and a machine gun on top of that, plus extra armoring. And I think they're cheaper too. So, yeah. Minor defeat. It's a catastrophic rout, pretty much.